now that I see where I was and where I am now, I'm like, I don't understand how I allowed myself to get that way. I don't understand why I allowed myself to get that way. And I'm definitely not allowing myself to get that way again. So
Yeah. I mean, dude, you
I,
look 10 years younger, at least 10 years younger
oh,
from
thank you
some
very
of these
much.
videos I was seeing. I didn't know
It,
your age. I'm like, but he seems like an older man. And I look at him like, this is the same guy, you know? It's like you vibrate, you're vibrating different. You look younger, you look healthier, you look happier, you're more comfortable in your skin. It's like I'm telling that
absolutely.
because I watched all these videos before I jumped on the podcast. And I was like, oh man, and he showed up. I'm like, damn, dude's been putting in work,
Yeah.
you know?
Putting in work big time. Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for
And
that. Yeah. No, I'm 51 years old. So I'm out
killing it.
there. It's funny. I go out there and run it in the morning and I see these high school kids that are, that are on the cross country team or whatever. And they're out there running. And I just think, they're, 15, 16 maybe. Right. And
Yeah,
here I am 51 and I'm keeping up with them. Uh,
that's it.
and it's just
Yeah,
like, that's how I feel. I feel that good. And I'm not going to allow myself to go back because my family, not because of me, my family deserves better. Not because I deserve better. My family deserves better. When I know I'm giving more to my family, then I know that
yeah,
I deserve more and I deserve
that's right.
better and I feel better. So, Dane, I want to ask you real quick before I let you go, because we've went a little bit long, but that's all right. For dads out there that say, okay, I want to get my body in shape. I want to look lean. I want to look like I'm, not necessarily, this big bodybuilder,
Yeah, it's
right?
not about
But I
that.
want to I want to get my body in shape and all that. But my family genes just aren't there. I just
Yeah,
it's just not going to happen for me, and I just don't have it in my family genes. I can get myself in shape, but I'm not going to get the muscles and all that. Like it's just not going to happen. What do you
yeah.
tell dads that have that kind of mentality?
It's just a story you're telling yourself. Again, it's to change the way you look at things, the way you look at things change. I can't tell you how many guys think, oh, I can never get my arms sculpted because of my family has fat arms. I'm like, all right, how long have you been telling yourself that story? Right? Have you ever tried to try to dial it in and understand what your macros are so that you can sculpt your body? Well, no, it's because I my family is just naturally big boned. And it's like, all right, well, let's work through that. Let's at least see if we can chip away at that big boneness. And every single time it happens. Once you dial in your macros, it's scientifically backed. Once you understand the proper foods that are optimal for you, you put it with a little bit of a training and you put some effort and intensity behind that training and you're consistent with it day in and day out, the scale's going to go down, your attitude's going to go up, and you're slowly going to recognize maybe I do have the power to change these genetics because you do. I have so many people that have come to me because we usually recommend blood work, or men over 35 have had blood work before. So we look at those markers. Hey, where are your markers? We're going to do this thing and then we're going to test it 90 days later. Every single time, the doctor's always like, what have you been doing? Your markers are better. I have guys that all testimonies every time. When I go into the doctors, they're like, well, I mean, what are you eating, man? The markers are phenomenal. Remember when you first came in? It's like, yeah. So you can change it with different lifestyle changes. And so good ways to measure that is, one, you have your blood work done. You understand where your markers are. So you have some data to back it up. Then you incorporate some healthier habits, and then you check it again every 90 or 180 days. And every single time the markers are better because the body's better, the mind's better, the gut's better. And now you start to change the way you're looking at that. And so you become more of a believer. And when you believe that what you're doing is working, you tend to put more energy behind it.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's exactly why I've done what I've done. I mean, when I really got stuck with the working out and all that, I was doing the same thing. I get my blood work done every 6 months. I go to my regular doctor once a month. I literally
Oh,
go
well,
once a month just to make sure I'm feeling okay. She checks. It's almost like she gives me a physical once a month because I want to make sure
yeah,
I'm not young. I'm 51 years old, but I want to make sure that my body stays as healthy as possible.
still responds
She
well.
she gives me my blood work. She schedules my blood work every 6 months. Back in December, November, I was borderline type 2 diabetic. I was on blood pressure medication, and now all those
Yep.
things are gone. Every
Every
single one of
time.
them. Every of them.
Love
I
that.
like I'm there's nothing there that I have to worry about. But I do that for my family. I want to live a long life for my kids. I want to be there
That's
for
right.
my kids when they're older. And I don't care what I have to do, especially now that I see the result. This
Yeah.
is not easy. If
Yep.
it was simple for you dads or you moms to change your body structure and to change how you feel about yourself and about your physical body, if it was easy to do that, everybody'd be doing it. Everybody would do
Yeah.
it. No one likes to be obese. No one likes to be fat.
No.
Everybody would be doing it if it was that easy. It's not easy. You just have to be
No, but it
committed.
is simple. It is
It
simple.
is
It's just not
simple.
easy.
You just have to be committed. No different than you have to be committed to your kids. No different than you have to be committed to your wife. No different than you have to be committed to your family. You've got
That's
to
right.
make that commitment. You're committed to your job. You show
Yeah.
up to the meetings when you need to. Why don't you
Every
show up
day.
for your family when you need to? Why don't you show
That's
up for
right.
yourself when you need to? You're committed to those things. So be committed to getting yourself in better shape and feeling better mentally. Doing those
Yeah.
things is so important.